Okay, so we quite often field a lot of questions about the systemic differences between an ECX and an ECXR. So today what we're going to try and do is I'll run you right through the differences between an ECX and an ECXR using this ECXR model here as our base to work from. So first of all, what we want to get started on, the ECXR is basically Elros's premium offering. So it has the best of everything that we can offer you from all of our suppliers and all of our technology base that we have at our disposal. What we are trying to achieve with the ECXR is give customers an absolute premium offering in the marketplace with zero compromises, and also all of the premium luxuries that you would expect in today's off-grid recreational RVs. Now, unfortunately, with the ECXR, because there is such an abundance of factory-fitted options in these vans, they tend to be a heavier tear weight than what you would normally see on a lot of other vehicles. That's not only from an engineering perspective, it's just the fact of that we're fitting so many factory-fitted options where you don't need to go out and accessorize it at other places, such as your solar and all those sorts of things, water tank holding, etc., etc. It's all factory-fitted from the factory, and yeah, so that's why primarily the ECXR you'll always find is a heavier option to go with as opposed to the ECX. Now the ECX, we start off as still a premium off-road caravan in the marketplace. However, the ECX doesn't have as many factory-fitted options for that exact reason. So the ECX will always suggest to people that are being weight conscious that you sort of start with that platform, because the suspension is going to be a little bit lighter, and also things such as your water tanks are a little bit smaller, a smaller solar system on there as well, smaller battery system. So all those things add up to being less of a tear weight, especially with things like your toolbox and all that sort of stuff as well. So without further ado, what we'll do is we'll get into the breakdown of some of those differences now. Okay, so under the chassis, this is the most fundamental area where both the ECX and the ECXR differ. The ECXR is fitted with Cruisemaster's premium ATX airbag suspension, and it's also fitted with the M46 shocker standard. Now you can upgrade the shocks to their larger M60 shock absorber as well, which is a remote reservoir shock absorber, and it allows for a little bit more fine tuning, dampening adjustment from that perspective. But other than that, the system is architecturally the same as a remote reservoir shock. Now you can also spec in here the option of ABS on the drum brake systems. You cannot get the ABS system as an option on a disc brake, so that just needs to be something that's pointed out in this video as well. But on the ECX, what you'll find on the ECX is we come out with the Cruisemaster XTF airbag suspension. So where the two suspensions are a little bit different is in the actual arm design. It's quite a bit beefier on the ATX, a little bit more rugged in terms of its engineering. And also the airbag itself between the ATX and the XTF is vastly different as well. So on the XTF, it's a pillow style airbag, so more traditional that you would find on trailers, etc. Whereas the airbags that are on this ATX suspension before us today, it's a sleeve over airbag. So this is an airbag that you would normally find on trucks and advanced truck trailers and all that sort of stuff as well. So they're the main differences between the chassis on a ECX caravan and on our more premium ECXR caravan that we have here today. Now electrically, this is probably the next area that is biggest difference between the ECX and the ECXR model. So this ECXR here is fitted with our Off-Grid Package Plus. So what is the Off-Grid Package Plus? Well, we start with the brains behind everything, which is Redarc's 100 amp alpha manager system. That will charge at a rate of up to 100 amps, which is quite a large proportion compared to a lot of other systems out there on the market. It is then feeding power into Redarc's RS3 auto changeover inverter system. And we have this neatly packaged in our own electrical box that we've designed in-house here at Elros as well. Now, it's taking that power from MPS lithium batteries. They design their own aluminium robust casings as well, and they're fully 100% Australian made batteries as well. So we're all about trying to support other businesses within Australia that make locally as well. Now, the Off-Grid Package Plus is fitted with 630 amp hours of lithium battery. So MPS have recently upgraded their battery sizing a little bit on that front. So the Off-Grid Package Plus is now fitted with a slightly larger battery bank as a result of that. Now on the ECX, we basically halve everything. So on an ECX, you would receive a Alpha 50 amp charging system. You would still get the Redarc RS3 auto changeover inverter, so you can still use everything off-grid. And then your battery system will be downrated to a 315 amp hour battery as a result of that. So that in a nutshell is the Off-Grid Package Plus there. What do I get in terms of solar? So the solar packages vary slightly as well. So on the R model, we've fitted this unit here with 1200 watts of solar. Now generally we'll fit around about 1000 on the roof, and then generally we have to put a 200 watt solar panel on the front angle just to give you a little bit more power there as well. On the ECX, you'll receive 800 watts of solar, so slightly less. So we haven't gone halves with that because we think that 800 is still a really good number to proportionately feed the 50 amp system and maximise its charge rate from that perspective. Now on both systems you do get an external fold out solar panel as well that you can plug in an Anderson plug there as well, and just boost the whole system up with a bit of extra charge from that perspective. But that's the fundamental differences between an ECX and an ECXR with its solar and battery management systems. Water holding is the next priority for most clients. So the differences here between an ECX and an ECXR is in fact the amount of storage that we give between both models. Now an ECX starts with two 120 litre water tanks and a 95 litre grey water tank. The ECXR comes with two 160 litre water tanks and a 95 litre grey. Now if your van is a little bit longer than a 18 to 20 foot van, we can generally squeeze another water tank under there if you're someone that wants that extra water tank holding capability. If you're someone that's going for an ECX, you can certainly upgrade your water tanks to the larger 160 sizes, but obviously it all comes at an additional cost and additional weight, so just bear that in mind. Okay, so while we're on the subject of water holding, it's prudent to talk about filtration. Now, on an ECX, every van is fitted standard with one of these, which is a best inline water filter. It's a carbon filter, down to 1 micron, and good for about 2,000 litres before it needs using. Very easy to change out, and very inexpensive in terms of its operational costs on that side. Now, on an ECXR, you'll be getting one of these systems, which is called the Guzzle H2O filtration system. Now, this here is an LED UV ultraviolet light. What happens is water comes through, it goes through the ultraviolet light, kills all the bacteria that could be present in the water source, then goes through a carbon, which is an advanced carbon filter, and then out into your water source. So perfect for applications where you might be filling from a situation where you don't really know the water quality, and then it makes the whole system a fully potable drinking system, so you don't need to run extra tanks or an extra water pump for those sorts of things. So it's a very simple all-in-one system. Good for about 4,000 litres as well before it actually needs the carbon filter changing in this one as well. Now, using this ECX here as an example, so thanks Peter Johnson for dropping your van in for a service. Let's talk the toolboxes. So this is the next area that we want to differentiate between an ECX and an R model. So first you'll see that this ECX model here just has our standard toolbox. 427 litres worth of storage, 2 opening sides. You've got your gas holder at the front. This has been optioned with jerry can holders on here. And then you've got your stone guard on the front. The final thing to round out the front A-frame differences between the ECX and the ECXR is that on the ECX you get a Boss gearbox swing away jockey leg as standard on this package. Now moving over back to the R model, it differentiates quite a bit. So now we're talking deluxe toolbox for 1,430 litres worth of storage, so nearly 1,000 litre increase in terms of overall storage. Gas bottles are in the front tray bank here, which has got an open bottom. You can still put some mesh and stuff in there, so you can still hold a lot of gear. We've got a couple of different variations that we can give you here in the toolbox as well for a Weber slide out. You might want to put big picnic table or chairs, etc. in there as well, so we've got options for that. A division wall. We've got plenty of different scope for a large toolbox of this nature as well. And then the other big difference between the standard Boss jockey leg on the front of an ECX is on the ECXRs we put the Titan Blackjack electric leg as well. So that's the two key differences there between those two, and the overall differences on the A-frame of your ECX or ECXR model Caravans. So the next big key area is your front tunnel boot. Now, on an ECX, no outdoor cooking is the standard, whereas on the ECXR model, you get a slide-out kitchen as standard. So it comes with a induction cooktop, your sink, and then the provision, if you'd like to further upgrade, you can then go to a Sizzler Max barbecue that we can further fit on the end here. Some people like to have the alternate where they don't have the Sizzler Max and they might want to put their Weber on there. We can certainly entertain those sorts of things. Other people, if they've got an R model, they may like to omit this from the spec because this is a considerable weight increase. You're looking at about 55 kilos just for this, and then another 9.5 to 12 kilos depending on what surface treatment's done on the Sizzler Max. So it can be a considerable weight upgrade to do on this as well. So they're the two differences there in terms of tunnel boot storage on your ECX and your ECXR model. Okay, now for some similarities. So on this particular case in the Airbag box, we have the Cruise Master BCS system. Now you'll get a BCS system on an ECX and you also get a BCS system on an R model. The two major differences between both BCS systems that we offer here at Elros is just in the spec. So auto inflation will become a thing in future firmware updates that we do. That will come standard on an ECXR, whereas that's not a standard that we'll offer on the ECX. But they're the only two discernible differences. You'll still get the spike, so you can still air up off of the system. They both come with the solenoid activation, and they both come with a TJM Pro Series compressor now as well, as standard as well. So that's where the systems are most likely similar across both platforms. As we come into the interiors of our Elros, the fit and finish between the two specs doesn't change. We're always trying to do the best job that we can on each and every build that we do. But there are a few differences in terms of appliances and fixtures and fittings that we do in both models, so we'll run through that now. The first and foremost is the Bushman fridge. So on a ECX, the Bushman fridge will be their 190 litre version, and on our models it's their 225 litre DC compressor fridge as well. There's a couple of spec differences in our upholstery, one being on an ECX, you just get our flat range of colours in the vinyl offerings that we have there. But on the ECXR models, as standard, we can get the distressed leather look in our vinyl range, which is obviously an additional cost if you so choose to have it on your ECX van. In this customer's case, on this particular R model that we're looking at here, it's just a flat range of colour. You can certainly swap that and downgrade to that if you so choose as well on an R model. The ECX and ECXR also differ in their hot water systems. So an ECX is fitted with a suburban hot water unit, which is an instantaneous hot water system that is powered by gas and a 12-volt igniter. So it basically gives you on-demand water heating at your fingertips. Whereas on the ECXR models, what we've tried to do with this model is lessen its reliance on gas-operated appliances. So therefore we fit a Truma combi unit, which is a D6. It's a diesel system, operates from a little furnace and boiler tank. And basically what that does is gives you hot water, but additionally to that, it also gives you air heating as well. So it's a combination unit, hence the name Combi D6. Okay, so the main differences on the interior from a control perspective is we have Redarc's total vehicle management system on an ECXR, whereas on the ECX you'll just have available to you a basic 10 module fuse board, but you can certainly upgrade to the total vehicle management system if you so choose. The total vehicle management system allows you to have app control of a lot of your services and lighting, water pumps, all that sort of stuff. So it really puts the power into your fingertips. If that's something of interest to you, you can certainly upgrade that in an ECX, but it comes standard on an ECXR. Other differences is we can get Sirocco fans here. Sirocco fans, it only comes with one on an ECX, and it comes with two as standard on an ECXR. So that's a couple of differences there. Both units come with a Mike Coolman reverse cycle air conditioner as well as standard. Finally, to conclude this comparison video, we'll finish up on the back end of the van. Now, on an R model, you'll receive dual spare wheels as standard. On an ECX for 2026, it's down to one spare wheel. Now, we've made that change to further lightweight requirements of the ECX model itself, and also just to try and cap the forever increasing cost of constructing these vans. Now, a standard for 2026 as well, both vans will come with the reverse camera as standard, as well as on here, on an R model, you'll also see that the ladder package is standard on the R model. It is still an option on the ECX van itself. For 2026 as well, on both models, hitch receivers are now optional. There is also the center hitch receiver option that you can additionally upgrade on both models as well. And then finally, concluding with jack legs, we've got our Boss jockey leg option, which is an optional extra on both vans as well. Well, I hope you enjoyed that comparison video today of our models we offer here at Elros Caravans. If you'd like to know more information, or you just want to have a chat about a build today, contact the sales team and they'd be more than happy to help. We hope to see you on the next video. Thanks, guys. Before we end today's video, we just want to make a special mention that we've finally got our new Gibber Guard online after many countless emails and requests from some of our existing and past clients. we've stepped up our game, and we've now finally got the gibber guard to offer you guys for additional protection under your suspension areas. Contact the team if you want any further information or you'd like some pricing on the gibber guard fitted to your vehicle.